Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. A day later than it should have been, but meetings oblige. So, what I want to do today is let me open Scrivener so that we have some writing in the background. So, what I want to do today is it's a little one of those like personal videos, personal experience sort of videos that I think sometimes can be helpful. And this is about how do you feel after you publish your big paper. So basically, in my case, had a really rough time during my PhD. I finished in 2005, and I published my first MIS Quarterly from my dissertation in 2013. That paper was first submitted in May 2009. So there were a few years in between, quite a few years in between. And as I told you, I gave myself sort of like 3 years to learn how to write before like really submitting that first paper. And then, I got, it was a really difficult revise and resubmit process. My experience with MIS Quarterly is pretty good. It's a very supportive process, but, they didn't go easy on me. So it was really difficult. 2013, my paper was finally published. So this was after a lot of self-doubt during my PhD, and what were basically 8 years where I didn't know what I was going, and I did. So how does it feel after you get that acceptance, you made it? How does it feel? Is it different, or is it just like one of the things that okay, you made it, but you still feel insecure, and nothing really changes? In my experience, it does change because now that you can make it, that you are able to publish in a top journal in your field, and because my paper was single authored, I knew that I could make it on my own. Okay, so you have what it takes, and you have what it takes, and that whatever paper you publish or don't publish in the future, it is about the level of difficulty that that you engage in when you write that paper. So the first paper that I published was the best data from my dissertation. Okay, so and so that basically meant that at that difficulty level, meaning that I have like really good data that didn't fall from the sky. I collected it myself, right? So 100% meritocratic, right? That you can publish in a top journal if you have very good data. You can do it. Then that basically says, okay, so future publications, future success or failure is not due to my base ability to publish, but to the level of difficulty at which I am publishing. So, then I published in the MIS Quarterly with, a different data set from my dissertation that was a little bit more difficult to publish from. And recently I got a revise and resubmit from MIS Quarterly from a relatively weaker data set, and the reviews were much tougher. The senior editor said that their first intuition was to reject the paper, but eventually I got a revise and resubmit. So that data is much weaker than my dissertation data, and so the difficulty in publishing the paper is higher. But after publishing that first paper, I was sure that I was able to publish at that level. And that like really takes a huge weight off your shoulders and really says, you can do it. You have the skill to go through a rough supportive but rough and difficult review process in the top journal and get your paper on the other side on your own without help. Okay, so big change. That is the answer to the question, what changes when you publish your big paper? What changes is that you know you can do it, and then you can try to do it at a higher level of difficulty with weaker data, or at the same or lower level of difficulty with better data. So then what you can do is say, okay, so what I'm going to try to do now is get data at this level of quality so that I can publish again. Or you can say, I'm going to try for something a little bit more difficult, something a little bit harder to do, and I'm going to try to publish at this level, MIS Quarterly, but with relatively weaker data. And that's the path that I followed, and I go a little bit in depth into that in my video on what I learned from my son and playing Dark Souls and so on. Anyway, so does it matter? Yes, it does a lot. Does it make you confident? No, it doesn't, right? Because you still, it's still a challenge. It's still not a walk in the park, but now you can pull it off. Now, something that I want to tell you related to that is my experience with actually the first ever top journal paper that I published. That for me, it's really not in my mind space. It is a theory piece that I published in AMR. It's a piece on organizational improvisation where I'm fourth author, but this was like super unfair that I'm fourth author in that piece because I wrote it on my own, and I submitted it, and we got to revise and resubmit. But then my master's thesis advisor at the time decided to involve the very senior scholar, and they really run with the revisions for the paper. And so I don't really feel it is my paper because I didn't work on as much. I worked a little bit, but not a lot on the revisions. So I don't really own that paper. So if you ask me, have you published in AMR? That's where that paper is. Yes or no? I'd say no. But is there an AMR publication on my CV? Yes, there is an AMR publication on my CV. And this for me is a really cautionary tale that I really want to share with you. And that is that, do not take shortcuts for that big paper. That doesn't mean that you need to be a single author, but, just make sure that is really your own work, your own paper, that if you're co-authoring with somebody, that you are really collaborating. Because otherwise, it won't give you that feeling, that sensation that you really have accomplished something, and you won't give you the confidence that now it's just about the quality of the data or how difficult the paper is to write. Do I feel confident that I can publish with MIS Quarterly or even in MJ today? Yes. Do I feel confident that I can publish in AMR today? No, I don't, because I don't see that paper, that AMR paper, as my paper. Be really careful with this, especially in your first paper. I know, especially because I do a lot of job interviews, and and I mean the decisions for hiring a lot of people every year. I know it's a really rough job market out there, but I'll say don't sell yourself short, and at least in that first paper, like really make it your own, because it will really give you the confidence that you need to then just work on your pipeline and be assured that you yourself have what it takes to get it there, and then it's just a matter of the level of difficulty. And then obviously, if you have, I do have papers where I played smaller roles, but these have been after I published my big paper. So, I didn't need to build that confidence in my skill. It was already there. So then it was okay, right? If I play a smaller role in a paper that, where I have some contribution, data, or I worked on a small part of the paper, it's okay because I don't need that paper or those papers anymore to see myself as somebody who can really make a powerful contribution. I've already proven that to myself. So ideally, single author, dual author paper. Sometimes there are more authors, but you did most of the work, then that's your paper, right? Maybe 5 authors, but you've done the work, then that's your paper, right? So and I have a few of those. So just be mindful of that because this is really the foundation for your career. Okay. So hope this was useful, at least to some. I think I'll get back tomorrow, and I may do a little bit of a Scrivener video again tomorrow because I found that those are the videos that get the most use. So yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks, bye bye.